Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Happy first day of fall, guys. It's been a minute. I thought let's do a coffee and current reads update. I made my coffee this morning. She's pretty fallish. I'm not really a pumpkin girl, but I kind of like it in the coffee. But before we get into my current reads, I wanted to talk a little briefly about the two books that I just finished, because both of our male main characters' names was Jamie, so I just thought, like, what a coincidence. So that must mean I'm supposed to talk about it. Or I thought that I had given this book 5 stars the first time I read it. Turns out I gave it 4, and I still think that it's a 4-star read. The beginning part of this really kind of dragged a bit for me. The romance was still there. Jamie making B the different soups. One of my favorite things that a male main character has done for our female main character. But I hate grand gesture tattoos for one. Even though the breakup, I understood it from maybe a different perspective this go around, it still just upset me so much. Because again, if you have someone that's like, please, 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 let me help you, let me be there for you, and you know that you love them, why are you not allowing them to help you? I still think that I'm going to continue with my reread of the series though, because Better Hate Than Never is one of the best enemies to lovers ever, I'd say. Once Smitten, Twice Shy. I read an e-arc of this, so I never listened to the audiobook. And it was my least favorite in the series, so I'm just wondering if maybe I listen to them all audio, kind of physical duo read, maybe my opinions would change. But super excited for this one to be up next. Once Upon a Time in DollyWood. And you know, this hurts me a little bit because I was so excited for this read. It started off as something that I thought I could really enjoy. Eve being able to go away and take time to herself and regroup, and a journey of self-love and allowing yourself to love others. That's what I thought that I was getting. Instead, it was very much like martyr kink, victim blaming. The two of them definitely don't make it past the epilogue. They were barely together in the book. Some things that I remember upsetting me: when we first meet Jamie, the male main character, I guess he's got a beard, he's very rugged, they're out in Nashville. She refers to him as MAGA multiple times. Why are you referring to that man as that? Why are you referring to that man as that? I don't ever want to date a man that I'm like, MAGA. No, that was weird. And then they just kind of moved on from that. Eve was engaged to Leo, and she left Leo. She didn't like break up with Leo or anything before she got into this entanglement with Jamie. But then later on in the book, in therapy, Eve tells her therapist, yeah, I was really attracted to Leo because he was so broken and I could fix him. But the whole reason that she was leaving him was because she was so unhappy that he needed emotional support. How can you be upset with the consequences of your actions? So very much victim, martyr kink again. And then she ended up having a conversation with Leo, and I was on his side. That's not how you should want your readers to feel. Leo was like, I tried to help you multiple different ways. We tried to explore therapy. We tried to do this. We tried to do all these different things. You didn't want to do them. So I'm like, yeah, Leo, chew her up, chew her up. These characters were so two-dimensional and just orbiting around each other. It was insane. But you have Jamie. He spent his entire character arc hating his mom and his ex. Oh, and they briefly talked about how he had money, but he, like, if you have money and you're not flexing it in your book, you don't have it to me. But then in the last 10%, he's like, you know what? I love my mom. Looking at the ex like, wow, we sure did share a lot of memories in this home. This was not a romance book. This was not a love story. I don't know what this was, and it's kind of sad because I was really looking forward to it. I also just wrapped up One of Us is Dead by Jeneva Rose. This is my new Riley Sager. I don't know why I keep picking up her books, but it's like when I'm craving something that's almost just unhinged in the most absurd way, I need to read one of those one-off thrillers. You know what? I gave this one 3 stars, and for Geneva, that might as well be 5. There were so many characters that It was hard to follow up until about the end. Jenny, the woman on our cover with scissors or shears, she's the hairstylist for all of these rich women in Buckhead. Karen, who's married to Mark. Keisha, and Keisha was used as the stereotypical black character, even like a microaggression thrown in there. Christy, Brett or Brad's wife, and then Olivia, who was married to Dee. I told y'all there were so many perspectives. I'm editing and I forgot one. There's Shannon. Shannon is Brad's ex-wife, who is now friends with Crystal, who is Brad's current wife. Olivia was sleeping with Mark, who is Karen's husband, but Karen was also sleeping with Christy. Dean and Brett are running a trafficking ring together. Olivia finds out about all of these things and tries to use it to blackmail or get money to her advantage. But remember that Olivia is sleeping with Mark, but she also knows that Mark's wife, Karen, is sleeping with Keisha. All these K's. One of them, actually a couple of them, do end up dead. What draws me in about a thriller, especially if you're gonna try to switch who's the bad guy, who did it, I gotta be rooting for someone. Kept me entertained enough. I deep cleaned my entire house yesterday, had this on, and that's worth something. So clap it up for Jeneva this time, I guess. Still reading Katabasis by R.F. Kuang. I'm 40% in now, and they are a little deeper into hell. I think I'm taking a little bit of a break for a couple of days from reading this, just because I'm trying to, this year and moving forward, be really better about understanding and comprehending my reads and being able to think about them and talk about them thoroughly after the fact. I noticed myself kind of drifting off or being distracted and wanting to do other things while I was reading this, and not because it's not good, but just because it does take a little bit more attention and focus than One of Us is Dead or my next read that we're going to talk about, Dead Med by Freida McFadden. This is another one, like One of Us is Dead, that sometimes you just need something that you listen to or you read and you just think, anybody can write a book. This might not be like that. I'm only 4% in, so let's not judge a book by its cover. But we know how Freida writes. I expect three stars. I put a pause on reading The Wilderness by Flournoy. Similar thing with Katabasis right now. I want to be able to focus and prioritize and read. That one was also seeming to be a little bit more heavy and comprehension intensive, so I didn't want to have two of those going on at the same time. And there were like 27 people waiting on the hold at my library, and that was stressing me out, so I just let them have it. And I'm still chasing that domestic thriller sort of high from One of Us is Dead, so I started A Talent for Murder by Peter Swanson today. And so far I'm 10% in, and our main character already knows that her husband is a serial killer. I'm interested to see how the rest of the 90% is gonna go. Like, she's literally already connected the dots of, oh, you said you were in Atlanta, this girl got bludgeoned in Atlanta. When you told me you were in North Dakota, this girl got curb stomped in North Dakota. So she's putting all these pieces together, but what are you gonna do with it in the 90%? And if this man really is, well, I'm sure that he is, but if this man really is a killer, how are you not gonna get you? You're next on the list. So I'm excited to see where this goes. I think the premise is really kind of interesting, so who knows, could be fun. Okay, that was a quick video for us today. I wanted to just have something up for the first day of fall, because I'm really going to try and romanticize the season and not be nervous and scared. We're doing this together. Hope you enjoyed the video. I think I'm gonna post something about like my fall TBR soon, because I have to get serious about reading some of these books. Make sure that in the meantime, in between time, you are following me on TikTok, Instagram, and Goodreads. Links for those are in my description down below. Have a special fall drink today. Toodles!